The entry-level version of Xiaomi YU7 is priced at more than 210,000 yuan. Why is the expected entry-level version priced at more than 250,000 yuan? Today, we are going to take a photo of a rare item, which is the expected entry level version of Xiaomi. The expected entry-level version is more than 40,000 yuan more expensive than the entry-level version of YU7. Although Xiaomi keeps saying that the expected entry-level version has a higher configuration, even a higher level, but I have been thinking about a question recently. Do you say that the expected entry-level version is priced at more than 250,000 yuan because it is really worth so much money? Or is it that Xiaomi has been manufacturing cars for more than a year and has indeed sold very well and has made money and has begun to float and reap benefits? It seems that more than half of the people have ordered this entry-level version. So, today we will see how the car that you will be able to park next year is like and whether it is comfortable to drive. Are those who buy this car a big mistake? That is, although this car is borrowed by me, it is definitely not for commercial use, so please feel free to watch it. The main difference between this car and the other two high-end versions is the configuration. First of all, it does not have the 5.2 series supercharger. Then it is a single-motor rear-wheel drive version without air suspension, but it has CDC and it lacks some book-like configurations, such as the telecommunications door and the precision cockpit. Have you seen that this car also has a laser radar on it, which is standard for the entire series, so the cover plate does not make the top of the head look very bald? I think, to be honest, this car is really not very different from my expected max of more than 350,000 yuan in appearance, except for the tail logo, wheels, and tire styles. But I tell you, I drove this car for a few days, and there is one thing that makes me regret a little, that is, I think the official photographer of Xiaomi did not capture the beauty of the color of the streamer pink at all. The real thing is really beautiful. With a relatively cold tone and low protection, it is a very fairy-like purple. Moreover, there is this very high-density light gold pearlescent inside. When the sunlight shines on it, coupled with the shape of this car, there will be a feeling of pink sea waves, which makes me feel that it is a fragrant beauty. Now I regret choosing the Porsche paint. Can you guys comfort me in the comments and tell me that actually the maintenance rate is also worth choosing and it is also very good looking, okay? Otherwise, I really envy the people who chose this car paint. Before we get into the interior, everyone give this pink car paint a score from 1 to 5. I want to see what everyone thinks of it. You see, I was bitten by a mosquito today while shooting a video. Such a big bag. The key is that there is another one here. Everyone give me a triple hit. It's not too much. I looked at the expected interior of the entry-level version. I think that buying this entry-level version is enough, because its max version has some more things, such as the carbon fiber rear view mirror and the welcome pedal, and its various stretch configurations in the interior. In fact, the entry-level version is also very top. The actual gift is the Napa leather seat, the double zero gravity seat, and the Afraid air purification system, the end-to-end bracket. I saw a particularly controversial topic on the internet. That is, the chips used in the car computer of the entire series are not automotive grade, but consumer grade, because as an expected car owner, I do have concerns in this regard, so
I searched online. Since I'm not a digital blogger, I don't know much about this. I saw that most people on the internet said that there is actually no such concept as automotive grade. Consumer grade chips are actually used in mobile phones. They often have better performance and speed. The other differences between automotive grade and consumer grade chips are
it will be more stable. I don't know if there are any friends who are familiar with this aspect. Everyone is welcome to share some knowledge with me. I have been using this car for the past few days. I feel that the response speed of its entire system and its ease of use are actually at the top level, and Xiaomi is also very smart by. The comfort of this car's seats is actually no different from the high-end Max version. It is still comfortable, among the most comfortable. It is very soft and has a lower base, therefore the fit for the entire waist and back curve is very high, and I think the support is also very strong. Next, let me tell you about this car. After using it, I think there are a few points that need improvement. First of all, the steering wheel adjustment. The entry-level version has a manual adjustment. There is one here. You open it and then adjust the steering wheel like this. So if you upgrade next year, it will be a configuration like this. In fact, I think the steering wheel adjustment method is actually more convenient than operating it yourself on the screen. After all, it starts at the 250,000 yuan price range. It's equipped with an electric physical button to adjust the direction, which I think is very reasonable. I also found that the free colors and the roof are all made of this kind of woven material. Again, it starts at 250,000 yuan, and it's not too much to equip it with a material that costs several bottles. Also, The tone of the entry-level version you bought for more than 250,000 yuan is different from the top-of-the-line max version in terms of the number of speakers. It has a few fewer speakers. Let's play a song and listen to the sound quality of this audio system. It's a simple love song that sings the twists and turns in people's hearts. Let's take a look at the expected spatial performance of the entry-level version. In the front, Dong Li Mao, who is 1.8 meters tall and 170 kilograms, is still in the driving seat. If I sit in the back seat, you can visually observe that it looks quite spacious. However, if Dong Li Mao sits in the back seat, his legroom is about 1 fist and 4 fingers, and the headroom is also 1 fist and 4 fingers. So, I think the interior space of this car is enough for 4 adult men. There is also a screen in the back seat, and there is a drawer under the seat. The refrigerator is also optional, and you can see there is a very detailed place. The floor is the same purple as the car, which I think is quite thoughtful. It's a small detail, and otherwise it might not seem like a big deal. However, I noticed that the entry-level version of the Max doesn't have powered rails in the trunk. Now, let me share something that many people might not believe. The reviews you see online about the Max are all about being very stiff, bumpy, and sporty, and not suitable for family use. However, that's only true for the entry-level Max. It's a completely comfort-oriented car, and I think it's very suitable for family use, and I stand by my opinion. Recently, I've driven this car in cities, on highways, and on the highway. So, let me share my driving experiences. First, the overall suspension and chassis tuning are relatively soft and supple. The damping is also very refined. It's nothing like the YU7 or the Max, which even in comfort mode feel a bit hesitant and tense. The road I'm about to take is one I've driven with almost all my cars, and it's a bumpy one. The road has a lot of patches. You can see from the video that I am sitting in the car. In fact, the whole state is still very stable. In addition, the spring contraction and rebound of the suspension of this car are very gentle. I think it can filter out the small bumps on the road, especially the low-frequency vibrations. Over 70%. While it's very comfortable, you wouldn't say it's deliberately tuned to be very soft or even loose. There's still a certain firmness to the damping, but because the suspension is tuned so softly, when the car encounters large bumps, I feel the rear axle actually bounces a bit. You feel it's very springy, but it's not completely unreliable. Anyway, I think I need to explain this. Besides its comfort-oriented tuning, the reason this car looks so comfortable is largely due to its 19-inch wheels and Korean tires. So, if you're looking for a very comfortable everyday driver, I think if you're buying the entry-level model, there's really no need to spend a few $1,000s on larger wheels. If you're not so particular about appearance, the steering feel is very effortless, and the body feels very easy and agile. The front end is very compliant, and the steering is very precise. I'm changing lanes gently. The moment I turned the steering wheel, the front of the car actually reacted very quickly. There's no feeling of dragging the car in the comfort mode. The entry-level model is expected to be a rear-wheel drive, long-range model with a truly impressive range of 835 kilometers. It boasts 320 horsepower and 0-100 km/h acceleration in 5.88 seconds. I'm in comfort mode now, so let's give it a little push and see how it performs. The initial speed I just used was around 50 km/h, and then accelerating to 80 km/h is like a second acceleration. I think the power is quite plentiful. 88 seconds is perfectly adequate for daily commuting. Furthermore, I particularly like the linear acceleration response and gentle acceleration curve in comfort mode, so for those prone to motion sickness, this mode is actually very user-friendly. Many people might think, electric cars accelerate so quickly these days, often in just 2 or 3 seconds. Why wouldn't I spend tens of thousands more, right? 6 seconds is a bit too slow to buy a faster car. However, I would say that this speed is actually more than enough for most family users. Most people who don't have high demands for performance and speed. You mentioned 2 or 3 seconds. Even for me personally, I don't think I would use such a fast car for daily commuting, and it would add a lot of uncontrollable risks and uncontrollable factors. So I think when buying a car, don't just look online and see that everyone will buy a car with a 2 or 3 second lap time and then promote it. Manufacturers promote cars with a 2 or 3 second lap time and then buy such a fast car. You must find your own needs and buy a safe car that suits you. I think this is the hard truth. However, I may not like it very much. First of all, there are 2 points. The first is its speed gain. I don't think it is as good as the expected max speed period because its overall feel is lighter than the expected max speed. At high speeds, it is actually lighter than the expected max speed. At this time, it is not as fast as the expected max speed. You may feel that you can't turn the steering wheel, but if you move it slightly, it can still be turned. So I think, relatively speaking, it is not as stable as the expected max. Another point is that compared with the comfort-oriented SUVs of the same level, the stability of the body at high speed is quite good, but if compared with the expected max, I don't think it has the same firm body feeling as the expected max. This is in comfort mode. I think it's probably to match its softer acceleration feeling. In fact, the initial stage of braking is also made softer. So, I think the braking force in the initial stage of braking is a little weak. Seeing this, what do you think of the comfort performance of this expected entry-level version? Is it completely different from the expected entry-level version you imagined? In fact, I have been driving this car for about 4 or 5 days. My feeling is that I regret buying the Max a little bit because what I want is an SUV with beautiful appearance, very comfortable driving, high quality, and sufficient acceleration. For daily commuting, I think it is perfect for me. So I want to ask, is there anyone in the barrage who has ordered the expected entry-level version? Please give me a 1 to make me envious. Okay, seeing this, it's time to answer my question. Do you think this expected entry-level version is expensive at more than 250,000? If you think it's expensive, give me 1. If it's not expensive, give me 2. I personally think that if you keep the current benefits, the price is quite reasonable. But if you cancel these benefits, think about it, a zero-gravity operation ticket costs 9,000 yuan. It does feel a little expensive. In fact, I know that this car is definitely a phenomenal product. Some people may even have a budget of more than 200,000 yuan, but would rather spend an extra 50,000 yuan to make up for it and buy an expected one. Well, after driving this car for 4 or 5 days, I think it is actually a good choice for you to spend this money. Of course, the only problem is that you have to wait. Finally, I want to ask everyone to do me a favor. I now have a pure electric license plate in Shanghai. Do you think I should buy another expected entry-level version, or should I buy a Tesla Model Y? You are welcome to type your answer in the comments or barrage, or if you have any other car recommendations for me, you are also welcome to tell me. Okay, this video is over. If you like it, don't forget to make a long triple like. See you next time. Bye.